On the Wake of Great presents The Center with your host, DC Radical One.
Greetings, friends, family, allies, and enemies. I'm your host, DC Radical One, and you have entered the center. Shout out to our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby. You can check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, and the Wake Up Radio. If you all can hear me, let me know. If I need to alter the music, let me know. Because I got a different set of headphones and it's giving me a different vibe. So let's see. Let me see who's in the house. Of course, I saw Sister Najee, BB Fode, Sister Najee. She was here early. BB Fode, brother, you got ripped off. BB Fode, brother Elijah, BB Fode, brother Kevin. BB Fode to brother Safo. Looks like we got a new. Is the music too loud? Y'all let me know. Greetings, brother Jimmy. And looks like brother, you got ripped off. Is now a member. Greatly appreciate that, brother. Y'all get some clap emojis for the brother. Definitely need it. So he's the star of the channel now. He's a member, part of the Wrench gang. You do it all. Oh, Sister Najee, you joined as well. Oh my goodness. Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all so much. Greetings to Sister Teresa, who says she's from DC. All right. Greetings to you, sister. Depending on what level y'all got, y'all can get better than some. Y'all gonna get some free clips from myself and Brother Genie that nobody else got. So that's better than some emojis, right? Now I'll make some more emojis now that we got more people joining. So if anybody else, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be readily apparent. I came on here for two reasons. One, because this is something I wanted to talk about, and two, because they closed the paid window for YouTube. So if anybody would like to join the show, contribute a super chat or join at one of the membership tiers, I will be so appreciative. Since we had two people joining tonight, y'all may get all the members who are above the lowest level I may send y'all a whole lecture tonight. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know how many people will come in because I'm not normally on. Hey brother, you got ripped off. If you could do me a favor, could you send it to some of the Telegram groups? Maybe some more people will come in. And before I get started, just let me say that Saturday, Brother Genie will be in Georgia at the Black Dot bookstore in Lithonia, Georgia. And by the way, I got brother, you got ripped off. I think I got Sister Najee. Brother Safo, be sure to shoot me an email so I have your email list. So when I get the chance to send this stuff out, you'll have it as well. So, but yeah, as I was saying, Brother Genie will be in Lithonia, Georgia this Saturday at 3 p.m. I believe it's 3 to 7 as part of his African Survival in the 21st Century tour. So don't, if you're in that area or if you're in the South in general, be sure to check that out. So I'm not sure how many people are going to join tonight because I kind of let people know last minute. Y'all know I normally like to give y'all 2-3 hours heads up, but tonight that just didn't happen. So what we're going to talk about tonight is, and if you saw it, I asked a question: is exploitation of people? Because we, this is being monetized, so we're going to dance around words and we'll let the clips speak for themselves. Is that the gateway to reaching elite status? And here's why. Now, let me say this. And I'm not going to be on long. I'm going to be on about an hour and a half because it's already late on the East Coast here. So this will be a subject that I'll probably get back around to again. But I don't know if y'all noticed. See, this is what happens. Black people especially. We see other black people get accused of heinous crimes. And we think, oh man, they picking on my favorite celebrity. They picking on Sean Combs. They picking on Jay-Z. They picking on this and this and that. And we never ask. We don't even look to see what other people get arrested. Before they straight black process, finance, good to see you, sister. We don't even look to see other people getting arrested. We don't look to see other people getting accused. We just get emotional about our favorite celebrity. And we never even ask the question, what if they're guilty? Right? And not only what if they're guilty, what if they're part of a system of exploitation that's been set up for years, and your gateway to reaching the highest levels of that is engaging in these heinous crimes? See, we don't ask that question, right? Because that falls under the banner of quote unquote conspiracy theory. But let's ask yourselves. Let's think about this, right? If you watch my show way back, it's almost been a year ago when the Sean Combs thing first happened. We talked about the people who initiated him, right? We talked about Clive Davis, and Clive Davis openly spoke about his orientation, right? Like he didn't hide his feet. I showed the clip of him at an interview. He had been married, and then he decided that women weren't enough, so then he went to men, right? And probably both at the same time. He kind of intimated that, but he didn't say it, but probably. So, and that's just one person. There's an infamous video that's been scrubbed from the internet where Tupac Shakur says that I believe he's recently deceased Quincy Jones propositioned him. Now, I heard the video. I heard the audio. It used to be on YouTube. I haven't been able to find that thing anywhere, right? So we have that. Quincy Jones definitely at the highest levels of entertainment. We have, and I'm just trying to think of, again, I did a live stream talking about the casting couch. We have the casting couch. The casting couch is 100 years old, right? You had Shirley Temple, Greetings to Jazz. You had Shirley Temple. You had, but I can't think of the actor. Now, I'm talking about actors 100 years ago. Well, he's deceased now, but yeah, he's initiated. So that the word I use is initiated when I talk about these elite actors and music people and all that. I use the word initiated. Part of being initiated to the highest levels is engaging in, for lack of a better word, because I'm going to be using a lot of euphemisms tonight, Roman antics. You see what I'm saying? You know, I don't know if anybody ever seen these different movies and they depict Roman behavior and they have all these orgies and all this wild stuff is happening. Well, that's what is allegedly happening at, for example, at the Diddy parties. It's the same behavior, right? But I'm saying he learned it from other people. He was initiated. He was initiated by Clive Davis. He was initiated by what was his name? Ron Burkle, right? People like that. Quincy Jones been in the music business for a long time. At one time, he was one of the most powerful people in the music business. I don't know who initiated him, and I don't know who he initiated, but I'm sure he was initiated, right? And so that brings us to now the allegations against Sean Carter. Now, first of all, let me state this, and then I'm gonna get to what's on the screen that really can't actually see. Because I didn't even bring up the Sean Carter article. I forgot about it. The allegations against Sean Carter are heinous. They're disgusting. They're despicable, and he has denied them. Brother, I'm trying to tell you what I know. You trying to tell me what you think. These people were initiated. You don't reach the upper echelons of this society without being initiated. This is an old Hollywood tradition, go back 100 years. Remember, as much as people didn't want to talk, didn't want to believe what Bill Cosby had going on, and I'm not saying exactly what he had going on. He was known for being at the Playboy Playboy Mansion. The Playboy Mansion is legendary for its debauchery, right? So these things have literally been in front of our face for 100 years, and we didn't know the details, so we just got the cleaned up version of what's going on. But if you hanging out at the Playboy Mansion and you at the Hollywood parties and you hanging out with certain people, you've been initiated. There ain't no way around that. We just get late to the information. In regards to Sean Carter, it's like I said, he has denied the allegations. The allegation is, and I'll play the clip shortly, that he violated a 13-year-old girl. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know he did or didn't do that, but we're gonna think about some things, and it's gonna look real bad, right? It's gonna be some things that we're gonna look at, and we're gonna be like, yeah, that ain't helping, right? So here's the first thing we're gonna look at as far as Sean Carter. Who are these two people? Right? We remember this? We remember these days? Who is that? I don't see nobody saying nothing in the chat. That's Sean Carter and Robert Kelly. Remember the Best of Both Worlds tour? Right? Remember they did an album together? They toured together. Remember we heard that we used to hear that all types of unseemly things used to happen in the studio? Remember when Nas went off and was talking about Jay-Z and Robert Kelly hanging out together? We don't like to talk about that part. Right? So I'm not saying it makes you guilty. I'm just saying if your closest homeboy is in the mafia and you keep being seen at the mafia hideout, you shouldn't be surprised when the FBI comes and knock on your door to ask you if you're in the mafia. That's all I'm saying, right? Because we don't have to debate whether or not Robert Kelly, it's just a matter of how many crimes is he guilty? Like, he's guilty of stuff that he didn't even get convicted on. He just got convicted on stuff they could prove, and they just went on about their way, right? That's what Robert Kelly is. What'd you say, brother? The chat is disconnecting. Wow, I've never even heard of that. Okay, well, I guess we're not gonna. I guess this show's going to be even shorter than I planned. They're like, nah, this ain't what you want to talk about tonight, homie. I don't know if that's something on my end. I don't know what's going on. So, again, Sean Carter's been accused of basically doing stuff that Robert Kelly does, and one of his closest homeboys for a while was Robert Kelly. I'm just saying it don't look good when you think about it that way, right? And then allegedly, because I wasn't there, it's crazy when I think about it. Sean Carter was interested in Aaliyah. And who, oh my God. Robert Kelly married Aaliyah when she was 15. That's not allegedly. They got the documents and everything. So when she was older, maybe like 20, maybe, and I'm guesstimating the time frames here. So he was interested in her, but she got with Dame Dash, and allegedly that's why he kicked him out of Rockefeller and all that stuff. But all that's alleged. That's neither here nor there, right? Another thing, and I couldn't find this clip, but Sean Carter was on an interview. God, I can't think of that dude's name. And he was asked about Beyonce. And he was asked how old Beyonce was, and he started stammering and stuttering because he couldn't remember. You know what I'm saying? You know how you trying to remember a lie you tell all the time? And he didn't want to say nothing because he didn't want to say the wrong age. So he was like stammering and stuttering. And then the guy was like, "Well, what do you think about it when you saw her?" It wasn't no glad. It was on something big. It was on some legitimate journalists. Like a dude like come on PBS or something. This was years ago. And he, they asked him about Jay-Z. Asked him about Beyonce. He was like, "What'd you think when you saw her?" Now, my understanding when he first met her, she was underage. He was like, I thought she was a great artist. You thought she was a great artist the first time you saw her? That don't even, that don't even make sense. Like, unless you saw her performing, right? You saw her rehearsing or something. That ain't what he said. Oh, it was CNN. All right, yeah, thank you, brother. For some reason, I thought it was PBS for CNN. Right. Yeah, go back. If you can find it, go back and watch that. Like, he's squirming and he's like real uncomfortable asking like some really simple questions. So I'm not saying he's guilty of this particular crime. I'm just saying you don't want to go into the den of thieves and be standing there with the police kicking the door. That's all I'm saying. Because now, remember, his other homeboy is Sean Combs, who we know, right? So, being homeboys with these two people, that listen. But what he's accused of is so heinous that I don't want to assume his guilt, because it's basically is might be beyond our account, to be honest. I'm just saying. But this point of history, we kind of forget this, so that's why I want to bring that up, right? Now, what we're gonna do real quick, we're just gonna look at the clip of the accusations, and then we're gonna take it from there, right? So y'all know how we do. Pause the music, load the clip.
Jay-Z is denying allegations that he raped a 13-year-old girl back in the year 2000. His name surfaced over the weekend in an amended lawsuit that also named Sean Diddy Combs. KTLA's Jacqueline Sarkisian is live in the newsroom with more. Jacqueline, good morning.
Hi, Eric. Good morning to you as well. The billionaire rapper is denying all allegations and calling the lawsuit blackmail. He says he and his wife Beyonce will now have to sit their children down and explain to them what's happening. The lawsuit, which was originally filed back in October, was refiled yesterday to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The woman, who's identified as Jane Doe, says she was 13 years old at the time of the assault. It happened at an after party following the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000. She went without a ticket and ended up speaking to a limo driver for Sean Diddy Combs, who told her about the party. The accuser is alleging she started to feel woozy after consuming a drink at the party and wandered into a bedroom. She says Jay-Z raped her first, then Combs. According to the amended lawsuit, the woman says she hit Combs and ran out of the party. Now, Jay-Z denying the allegations. He issued this statement through his entertainment company, Rock Nation, calling the accusations, quote, heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also went on to say, quote, my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims. Tony Busby later responded with this comment saying, quote, regarding the Jay-Z case and his efforts to silence my clients, what he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and that victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. We spoke to a criminal defense attorney asking her take on Jay-Z's response and what she thinks could end up happening.
It was a power move by Jay-Z to say, absolutely not. I'm going to put it out there. And now I have to talk to my family about this. And this is disgusting and horrific. I think it was a strong response. It either gets litigated or, Tony Busby decides that it's not worth going forward on Jay-Z on this.
Sean Diddy Combs was arrested 3 months ago, has since been charged with several crimes, including sex trafficking and racketeering. He's pleaded not guilty and currently being held in a New York prison. Reporting from the newsroom, Jacqueline Sarkisian. Jessica, back.
Now, that's the accusation. I didn't even want to say it because it's so heinous, but they covered it. Again, Brother Jimmy, I say to get to the upper echelons. Jay-Z's a billionaire, right? And if we just being honest and looking at his situation, Jay-Z and Beyonce don't become Jay-Z and Beyonce if Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur, and Aaliyah live. Let's just, let's just keep it 100. And I'm not accusing him of having anything to do with that. I'm just saying, if we being completely honest, if you were around, you understand. Sean Carter was not on the upper echelon of rappers when Big was on top, Tupac was on top, and Nas was on that same level. Nobody was talking about no Jay-Z. Right? Now, what happened? retrace our steps. Apparently, allegedly, what happened was some people connected to Sean Combs, who were on the West Coast, who have been arrested, were involved in the assassination of Tupac Shakur. And Sean Combs paid that bounty. Right? After that, Mr. Combs convinced Christopher Wallace. We're gonna get there, brother. Convinced Mr. Christopher Wallace to go to California instead of going to England, where he was supposed to go. And that was the last thing he did. In the midst of California mourning Tupac. So, because of those things, and then of course, Aaliyah, who was on her way to superstardom as an actress and singer, she perished in a airplane crash where she was allegedly drugged because she didn't want to get on the airplane after her Rock the Boat video. She perishes. Beyonce gets a local, actually I think the brother's from DC, a local DC producer that was producing for can't think of that. The sister was a former Howard student. But she took her sound and blew up from there, and then they blew up together. Just saying, it's a fortunate set of coincidences and all of that for these people to become the two biggest people in music, right? So if for those who are around, when you start thinking about this stuff and you start looking at it, all of it starts looking really weird. And I'm just saying, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence making Mr. Carter look crazy because of the company he keeps. Now, we saw the clip. They showed you him and Mr. Combs hanging out all the time. Right? I'm just saying, you got to pick better friends. You know what I'm saying? These two gentlemen being your friends, it's not a good look. Not at this time. Maybe at that time it was a good look. Now it's not a good look. And then you've snaked people that was down with you. It's an open secret. I just found out. I didn't know that Big L was part of the reason that Jay-Z got put on. And we know Big L got assassinated. And if you know anything about hip hop, New York hip hop, Big L is like one of those legendary. Big L is one of those woulda, coulda, shouldas. Like, he's one of those artists. Like, man, he should have been this and that. Like Nas had said that Big L, he was like, oh man, that dude was nasty. And he said he saw him coming. He's like, oh my goodness, right? But that, I just wanted to get Sean Carter out the way. I'll put it like this. I would hope those allegations are false. But do I think he would engage in that behavior based upon the people he's been around and based upon the little I know of his character? I don't put nothing past anybody nowadays, and he never struck me as a dude. He struck me as a dude do anything for money, and he never struck me as a dude that care about people. And he also struck me as a dude that had some alcohol. You at a party, there are women around, and you probably not checking any IDs. And let me say this. that I've lost friends back in the day over this issue. I mean, we're gonna be, well, we ain't gonna be totally raw, but we're gonna be real. In the late 90s, early 2000s, there were, and they probably still are, there were males who had no qualms about taking advantage of a woman in a inebriated state. I mean, I'm talking about black males, right? And the reason I know, because I had these conversations with people, and just told them how despicable it was, and that they were some. Actually, I can't use the words that I used, but and we lost. I just couldn't interact with them folks anymore. Those type people. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't condone that type of behavior. So I can't be around you. We can't hang out, because we might hang out and then you might try to you understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I can't stop you without bust you upside your head or committing some type of crime. But I'm not gonna be there. I don't want to hear about it. In fact, we can't interact because I can't deal with you. But I know that type of behavior existed, right? So the only part of what he's been accused of that's like would make you think, I don't know about that, is the age of the girl involved. But then when you sit next to Robert Kelly, and I don't know, because again, like I said before, if you go back and listen to Vibe like I did, because when the song first came out, the name Aaliyah meant nothing, and I wouldn't even, people make songs and they name girls, and I'm just thinking they just naming random girls, but in reality, a lot of times they would name the people they know. But if you go back and listen to Vibe, R. Kelly says a little Aaliyah's got that. She's got it. She's got that vibe. He was talking about Aaliyah when he made the song. Aaliyah like 12 years old. Jay-Z's accused of violating a 13-year-old. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just say this. Allegedly, international trafficking of young people is the number one thing going on with what we would call the quote-unquote global elite, including politicians, entertainers, and business people. And that in order to get to a certain level, this is the number one thing that they get people involved in for leverage. Right? So, I'm gonna give you an example. You want to know why Matt Gaetz, who I can't stand, why Matt Gaetz is not in the Trump administration right now, or at least not going in front of the Senate to be confirmed? Because Matt Gaetz fell for a honeypot operation, right? That I don't know if y'all paid attention to that. Matt Gaetz was supposed to be, I can't remember what position he was nominated for. Trump wanted him for a certain position. What ended up happening is some information came out from from one of those people that we like to talk about a lot but can't talk about, those who shall not be named. And then later on, Attorney General, all right, thank you, brother. And then later on, it came out that Matt Gaetz had some dalliance, to use their words, with an underage female who was supposed to be, I believe, 17. Right? And once that came out, then it was like, oh, okay, time to just step off the scene and disappear. And he probably started lobbying for him. But then later on, somebody, because once I heard it and thought about it, I was like, oh, he fell victim to a honeypot operation. Somebody didn't want him. Whatever he was doing something that was irritating somebody, so they moved him out the way before Trump probably even thought about, probably before the election. So I just point that out as an example that these are the things that go on at the highest levels, and we don't. Up until now, this stuff has really been put on the table. So you have people who initiated, then you have people who are lured in with the honeypot, and that was the whole Epstein, his whole operation, because he was taught by Mossad. Again, we covered that a year ago. Epstein was taught by Mossad, which is Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, the same Israeli Secret Intelligence Service that helped the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad in Syria, which is another show. I know that seemed like two tangentially things that aren't really connected, but in the grand scheme of things, they are. So, again, for Black people in general, we just look at this and think, oh, our people are being attacked. We don't think, oh, our people have been doing some dirt. That's how they got to where they at. And I just wanted to put that on the table because I'm starting to see a lot of, well, not a lot, I'm not going to say a lot, but I'm starting to see dudes who are allegedly, quote unquote, conscious, African-centered and this other stuff, defending Sean Combs. Like, again, we know that Sean Combs paid the bounty on Tupac. So I don't know why, unless you just hate Tupac, right? So I don't know why you defending this dude. Like, I never really known nobody that really liked Sean Combs like that. So it's real weird to me when I see people defending him. But he's been a scumbag. Like that ain't news. So, again, that's just real weird to me. I don't know what it is, but we have to disabuse ourselves of this belief that we're under attack and they're only targeting black men specifically. Because, again, we forget the little European female that was in the show Smallville was part of some cult and was branding girls and all types of stuff, and they scooped her up and threw her in jail. Now, I just found out that she got out last year, so she only did 5 years, but they did throw her in jail, and they did splash it all over. Now, that little bit of time she got, yeah, that's some nonsense. That ain't no justice, based upon what she was accused of. Right? But again, another Hollywood person, she not even a big wig Hollywood person. She part of some weird cult thing happening. All right. So let me get to this article. All right, first one we're gonna deal with from New York Daily News. I'm sure a lot of y'all haven't heard about this. Real estate brokers to ultra wealthy. Tao and Oren Alexander indicted. Again, trafficking. Let's get to it. Tao and Oren Alexander, real estate brokers to the ultra wealthy, and their brother. Is that a weird way of spelling Allen? We're gonna go with Allen. I don't really know. Anyway, were accused in a bombshell indictment unsealed in Manhattan on Wednesday of brutalizing dozens of women in a years-long trafficking conspiracy case. Again, when we get to the video, we're gonna see like these charges are heinous, right? Like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like horrible. Now it says the multimillionaire brothers are accused in court papers of repeatedly and violently violating dozens of victims from 2010 to 2021, including, y'all see it, violations by multiple, I'm assuming multiple men. Each faces one count of conspiracy of trafficking and one count of rape and one count trafficking one woman. Tao is additionally charged with a second count of trafficking related to a separate woman. I mean, to me, it sounds like they're getting off kind of light with the charges. If they've been doing this for 11 years and you only getting a couple of counts, the defendants use their wealth and positions to create and facilitate opportunities to assault women, said Manhattan U.S. Attorney Damian Williams at a news conference. For years, the Alexander brothers, sometimes with others, also arranged domestic and international trips to carry out their heinous activities. How many people have heard about this case? Y'all let me know in the chat. I just want to see if anybody has heard anything about this, because apparently in New York, this is a big deal, and like these are some big bang Hank dudes, and like I found like a lot of different stories, and all of the media was New York based, so that's what made me think, okay, it's a big deal in Manhattan, but maybe it hasn't gone national yet. So just ask how many people have seen anything about this case. So what we have here, again, these gentlemen are not entertainers, but ultra, again, this is what they say, ultra wealthy, high-end businessmen engaged in just brutal, heinous activity. Right? Like, we should be noticing a trend here. The only difference with what they have been accused of so far is we haven't seen any type of homophilia, as far as I haven't heard anything about any underage women or any same gender activity as of yet. Right? Now, the case goes to trial. That's when all types of stuff starts coming out, and you start getting all the information. It's just like the Robert Kelly trial. Like, everybody focuses on the girls, and they should. Robert Kelly victimized underage girls. We never talk about the boys that Mr. Kelly victimized. But if you actually paid attention to the case, Mr. Kelly was a homophile. He engaged in heinous activities with boys and girls. These gentlemen apparently are just victimizing, at this moment, being accused of, allegedly, let me say allegedly, victimizing grown women. So I just wanted to bring this up because I don't think people are seeing it, and I don't think that it's being talked about. Now it says, and I guess this is the attorney, Damian Williams. He looks like Damian Williams. Says the indictment alleges the brothers lured victims, sometimes found on dating apps, to events at luxury locations, including the Hamptons, Tula, Mexico. Man, let me tell you something. Somebody that I follow on Instagram, I just seen them in Tula, Mexico, and Miami, and primed them for abuse with sedative and hallucinogenic drugs, among them mushrooms and the drug GHB, to prevent them from fighting back or escaping. So these dudes had a whole system of savagery. They allegedly meticulously planned some attacks in advance and sometimes committed them simultaneously. Like I said, they had a whole system. In graphic detail, the indictment described the brothers as taking turns with their targets, physically restraining them while assaulting them alone together with other men and ignoring victims' demands to stop. I wonder, do they have video? This is explicit. It made me think that they got video. There's Tao and Orrin Alexander are real estate agents who started at the firm Douglas Elliman and have since built a prolific reputation in the industry for selling some of the priciest properties in the world, including a nearly $240 million penthouse on Manhattan's Billionaires Row in 2019 that was at the time the most expensive residential sale in U.S. history, which led to them to open their firm, Official Partners. Allen is the executive of a family-owned private security firm, Ped Security. Okay, if he had his own security firm, he probably got video documentation of this stuff. Williams and the assistant director of the FBI's New York Bureau, James Dennehy, said their investigation was ongoing and urged anyone with relevant information to come forward. The brothers were arrested early Wednesday in Miami Beach. Allen and Orrin, 37, who are twins, were apprehended on related state charges and were expected to be transferred to federal custody, according to authorities. They could face anywhere between 15 years to life if convicted. The charges come on the heels of several lawsuits that include similar allegations, one against Tao, 38, or involving the twins, who they previously said 37, and exposés in the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. The brothers vehemently denied wrongdoing. Reached by Daily News, Susan Nationalist, who represents Orrin, said Orrin Alexander is innocent. The evidence will show that neither he nor his brothers ever committed a crime. So I just wanted to bring that up because, look, let me speak to the sisters, and not the sisters here because y'all are civilized, but some other sisters. Maybe y'all can show this to some young sisters so they understand. They're saying all that glitters isn't gold. All of this wanting to go to Dubai and wanting to go to Miami and wanting to hang out with these rich dudes and wanting to be the life of the party and wanting to be around these people with money and wanting to get into the sections with the rappers and entertainers and the ball players and the businessmen and the ballers. I get it. I understand. I get it. But there's a dark side to that stuff. Heinous, disgusting things are done to women who are thirsty for that lifestyle. You may not come away with your soul and your sanity after these types of adventures. It's something you should weigh in the balance. Those of you that have daughters, this is something that you should talk about them about, being completely honest. The way things are going now, the way people just out of control and grown men trying to prey on little girls and whatnot, this is stuff that you should be talking to your daughters about. I mean, it's delicate. I don't know how, however you do it as a parent, that's how you gotta do it. This stuff you guys start talking to your daughters about when they're 13, 14 years old. Right? And Sister Jazz is talking about the porta potty and porta potty females. Yeah, that. Oh my God, that stuff is so disgusting. I know. Anyway, that Dubai. Anyway, that's just women going to Dubai. That's just enslavement. The stuff that they make some of them women do is just so disgusting. It's beyond your thought, right? So I'm just saying that the underworld of debauchery that happens amongst the elite is something that most of us can't comprehend, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, right? Keeping it real, like there's an underworld as far as intimate activities that doesn't happen amongst the elite, that most people, especially most men, don't know is happening. Now y'all gonna say, DC, how you know about it? I talk to people. That's how I know. Right? I talk to people. Like I talk to a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people over the years. You know, people on the streets, people in law enforcement. Talk to a lot of people. Some of the stories you almost like, I don't know if it's real until other people verify it. Like, being completely honest and talking to people that people wouldn't normally talk to, I don't have these connections anymore. We will get you a lot of information on powerful people in DC, but I don't have those connections anymore. And some stuff I don't even want to know, because it's no benefit. There's no benefit in knowing the information, because you put yourself at risk putting it out there. So you better just to be ignorant of what's happening, right? So, by the way, I am DC Radical 1. This is the center, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I know I don't actually say that often anymore, but please do that. And if you're new here, just go back through some of the old shows and check them out. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_ONE, on OTW2, which is a free speech platform, at dcradical1. You can donate via Cash App, $DC Radical1, and you can email me at dc.radical_1@protonmail.com. And also you can follow me on Threads, which I forget about. Same as the Instagram, dc.radical1. And if you do choose to donate via Cash App, I will greatly appreciate it. If you choose to give a super chat or super thanks, I would greatly appreciate that as well. Because I'm not gonna lie, I put a lot of time and effort into bringing you these topics that very few people will talk about, and because of the size of the channel, because of the views, it takes us a lot longer to get paid. Now, let's see. Next case. Ex-Abercrombie boss partner pleads not guilty to what? Trafficking. This is the BBC. This is the British partner of former Abercrombie and Finch CEO Mike Jeffries has pleaded not guilty to charges of what? Trafficking and interstate prostitution. Matthew Smith, in a tan oversized shirt and black rimmed glasses, sat tight-lipped in the New York federal court on Long Island as lawyers entered his plea. The 61-year-old was released under house arrest on condition of a $10 million bond. Now, I'm gonna just say this: if he's the CEO of a major company like that, At $10 million, he's not worried about that. To me, he shouldn't even, as we read the charges, because he's an international figure. Like, now that I think about it, did the judge take his passport? I think this guy's British. Like, what are we doing here? Anyway, oh, you know what? I forgot. My bad. Let me go back. I got a video for those brothers because the article mentioned 2 of them, but it didn't show all 3 of them. So, my bad. Let me go back. Let me do that. I'm going to load up that clip, and y'all get to listen to the heinous crimes in detail. So, y'all know how we do.
Disturbing crime, and a crime ring busted as well. The U.S. attorney in New York City accusing 3 brothers of sex trafficking for more than a decade. The siblings, who include 2 high-profile real estate agents, charged with working together to drug, sexually assault, and then rape dozens of women. Heinous is how federal prosecutors describe the crimes. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles live at the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan with the rather disturbing story. Darla.
Bill, as you mentioned, 2 of the 3 brothers are high-profile real estate brokers here in New York City. They are extremely wealthy and extremely successful, even once breaking the record for selling the most expensive penthouse in the country for $240 million. But they were all 3 of the brothers were arrested in Miami this morning on federal and state sex trafficking charges.
This conduct, as alleged, was heinous.
3 brothers synonymous with luxury, wealth, and elite social status, looking shocked and disheveled in mugshots Wednesday. Alon, Oren, and Tal Alexander indicted on 3 counts of sex trafficking.
Between at least 2010 and at least 2021, the Alexander brothers worked together and with others to repeatedly and violently drug, sexually assault, and rape dozens of female victims.
I started at Douglas Elliman in summer of 2008. So it's been a long time, and I rise in the ranks.
Oren and Tal are billion-dollar New York City real estate brokers. Alon, an executive at a family-owned security firm. But prosecutors called them sadistic in court filings, saying the brothers have a history of serial sexual violence, unrelenting when their victims said no or stop. Others screamed. The victims restrained or held down while being raped, describing the incidents as aggressive and violent.
For years, the Alexander brothers, sometimes with others, also arranged domestic and international trips to carry out their sex trafficking scheme.
The federal detention memo also says multiple women described being terrified that the Alexander brothers were going to hurt or even kill them. These victims' only goal in that moment became to survive.
These women were not cared for in any way at any point in the process.
And as they gained more prominence in the real estate industry, the indictment says Oren and Tal exchanged text messages to cover their tracks. Oren writing, "Start to think about reputation you want out there. We are on top of the game, and only thing can bring us down is some expletive," describing women complaining. Tal responds, "Understood. Did someone complain?" Now, again, all 3 of those brothers are being held in custody in Florida. 2 are in state custody because some of these federal charges align with state charges down there. A 3rd is in federal custody. The federal prosecutor here in New York City is working with those local officials to bring them back to the Southern District of New York. They say that they are extremely dangerous and are asking for them not to be released on bail. An attorney for the brothers said no comment. Reporting.
Now, I think the video actually enhances it and make us understand how heinous those crimes are. And just being completely honest, didn't sound like they gave a you-know-what about nobody involved. They were going to do what they wanted to do, and they didn't care, and they wasn't worried about The only reason they was worried about getting caught because it's gonna mess up their money. That's what it sounds like. They mess up their party. And these are, at least before this, like rich, upstanding, you know how they say, pillars of the community and all that stuff. Complete and total psychos. Right? Who are you? Because again, what we don't think about is these type of men, especially with this type of money, they're used to getting their way. They're used to doing whatever they want. And I haven't looked into their background, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. Wouldn't be surprised. Right? So now let's get back to the Abercrombie and Finch, and then because I'm not gonna be on much longer. So let's get back to this article. Yeah, says Matthew Smith. Okay, yeah, he's winning. Actually, do I have to sign in to read this? Can I read this? All right. The 61-year-old was released under house arrest on condition of $10 million, which is no money. Mr. Smith, along with Mr. Jeffries, 80, and their alleged middleman, James Jacobson, 71, were arrested in October and charged with running an international trafficking and prostitution business. To Jeffries and Jacobson had pleaded not guilty. Federal prosecutors have accused the trio of using force. Now, these some old dirty dogs. Fraud and coercion to make at least 15 young men engage in violent and exploitative acts between 2008 and 2015. Prosecutors have alleged that the operation encompassed dozens and dozens of men, with the youngest victim age 19 at the time of the crime. Now, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna just say this. I have no way of knowing, so I could be wrong. But I'll be before they to 7779311. Oh, background. Thank you, brother. I forgot. My bad. Shook up by the video. So thank you for reminding me. I'd be shocked if they've only done this stuff that they're accused of to actual adults. Again, I can't prove that, but I would be shocked. So they said the youngest person is 19. If you're doing this type of stuff, and we'll get to the video in a minute, to somebody that's 19, will stop you from doing it to somebody that's 18. Stop you from doing it to somebody that's 17. So this stuff is crazy. All right, let me just read some more real quick. It says that Mr. Smith, a UK citizen, was initially deemed a flight risk by authorities and detained during trial, which makes perfect sense to me. During a half-hour hearing on Tuesday, New York Judge Lee Durst told Mr. Smith he would be under house arrest at his home in Palm Beach, Florida, and had to surrender his passport. Oh my goodness. He gets to stay at his home in Palm Beach. That is that's such a limitation on him. How's he ever going to survive? Come on, man, this is crazy. He only allowed to leave his house to attend medical appointments for himself and Mr. Jeffries' meetings with his lawyers and religious services. Mr. Smith appeared relaxed as he put forward a $10 million bond using 2 homes in Florida as collateral as a property, as well as a property on Fire Island. This dude got 2 properties that he can just lay down and be like, you know what, 10 mil, whatever. Man, just go ahead and here's the keys to 2 of my spots. I'll stay in the 3rd one. Like, this is crazy. 6 people agreed to be sureties for the bond. Mike Jeffries and his wife, Susan Jeffries, their sons and daughter, Andrew and Annabelle Jeffries, former A&F Executive Vice President, Diane Shane, and Patrick Weasel. Abercrombie and Finch could not be reached for comment. Mr. Smith was ordered to not have any contact with victims or witnesses and not communicate with Mr. Jefferson so they can't get their lives straight, who faces the same charges. He must only communicate with Mr. Jeffries about the case through legal counsel. As Mr. Smith left the courtroom, Mr. Jeffries' lawyer, Brian Bieber, that name's ironic, handed him a shopping bag embossed with suggestive silhouettes of torso. Wait, what? Hold up. Run that back. As Mr. Smith left the courtroom, Mr. Jeffries' lawyer, Brian Bieber, handed him a shopping bag embossed with suggestive silhouettes of torso. Mr. Smith did not respond to questions from reporters as he exited the courthouse wearing an ankle monitor and a pair of white trousers and got into a black SUV. The FBI opened this investigation following a BBC podcast and documentary that revealed allegations of exploitation by Mike Jeffries while he was the CEO of Abercrombie and Finch. I don't know why I can't say that word, but whatever. BBC found Mr. Jeffries and Mr. Smith had been at the center of a sophisticated operation involving a middleman tasked with recruiting, I'm going to say young men for parties. For events they hosted in major cities around the world, including London, Paris, and Marrakesh. Mr. Jeffries stepped down as CEO and chairman of A&F in 2014 after 2 decades in charge and left with a $25 million severance package. Oh my goodness. You get accused of a ridiculous, heinous crime, and you're like, you know what? Just hand me over 25 mil and I just go quietly into the night. This is crazy, man. Yeah, I'm just saying this is crazy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna show the video of this so y'all know I'm not making this stuff up, right? So y'all know how we do. My goodness.
The arrest tonight of the former CEO of popular retailer Abercrombie and Finch.
Michael Jeffries is expected to face a judge in a Long Island courtroom this week after he was arrested in Florida today on federal sex trafficking charges. Allie Bauman is here now with the details. Allie.
Well, Maurice and Christine, prosecutors claim the former CEO and other defendants sold aspiring models the dream of success at the price of their sexual compliance. They allegedly made young men sign NDAs and injected them with drugs. The FBI calls this case another example of the wealthy using their power to control the vulnerable. Former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries returns to his Palm Beach, Florida home Tuesday, released from federal custody on $10 million bond. Jeffries, his longtime partner Matthew Smith, and a third man, James Jacobson, were arrested Tuesday on sex trafficking and interstate prostitution charges. Prosecutors allege the men routinely trafficked aspiring male models between 2008 and 2015, while Jeffries was running one of the most popular clothing brands of its time.
The defendants allegedly preyed on the hopes and dreams of their victims by exploiting, abusing, and silencing them to fulfill their own desires.
This 16-count indictment alleges the 3 defendants recruited and transported dozens of young men to sex parties at Jeffries' home in the Hamptons and hotels around the world, where they provided alcohol, muscle relaxants known as poppers, and Viagra. And when they did not consent, allegedly subjected the young men to invasive and violent sexual contact.
They caused the men to believe that attending these sex events could yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie.
I didn't feel free. I didn't feel like I could say no or that I could just walk away. It felt like I was trapped.
Barrett Pauls says he was flown to Jeffrey's home in New York after auditioning to be a model for Jacobson.
I thought that I was being given Abercrombie clothes to go into an Abercrombie interview, and it was not the interview I expected. And it was the darkest experience of my life.
There are so many similarities between Epstein, Combs, and now this Abercrombie case.
Former chief of the Brooklyn DA's sex trafficking unit, Lauren Hirsch, is now the director of World Without Exploitation.
For far too long, powerful people have been operating with complete impunity. And I think this is the moment where the tide is changing.
Well, Jeffries left Abercrombie in 2014, and the company declined to comment on the indictment. Attorneys for him and Smith told CBS News New York they will respond to the allegations in court. Now found guilty, the men could face 15 years to life in prison.
Now, here's my only thing that I'm trying to figure out, because I'm not gonna lie, I can't figure this out. I'm trying to figure out why this information and why are these people, why is all this coming out now? That's the only thing I can't figure out. And to be honest, like, this is the tip of the iceberg. Everything we seeing, every accusation we seeing, this is the tip of the iceberg. I have for a while wanted to, and hopefully next year I get a chance to. I really want to interview Allie Carter. And I don't know if y'all know who that is. She's a young lady who has been putting out information about celebrities for a long time. She said she's a survivor of, I believe she said she was at the Diddy parties, and she's named some, including, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she named Denzel as being at these parties. Now, what he engaged in, I don't have the details, but she's been talking about this stuff for a long time. Been low-key running for her life. And a lot of people kind of dismiss what she said, but I didn't. Like, some of the stuff she detailed was so heinous, it was just like, it's hard to hear, at least for me, right? Brother, you got rid of, you said you worked at an Old Navy, and you said Old Navy, Gap, Abercrombie have always been okay. You said those brands were for well, yeah, I never thought of it like that, because I just knew that wasn't for our people. I just knew that wasn't what we were rocking, you know. So yeah, like, there are more people, and I know those of you all, at least who are familiar with our work. The Pizzagate thing, when that broke, you know, Jeannie put that on the table. 2016? Has it been that long? And of course, that was alleging by activities by the Clintons and what's his name? Leon Podesta. The Podesta brothers. And you know, that was dismissed as conspiracy theory, even though a lot of evidence came out. And you know what? I wish I could. I need to get the clip that I had. Because it's gonna be hard for me to explain without the clip. I was looking at Trump's wife had some new, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's jewelry. I don't know if it's like supposed to be Christmas ornaments. But I don't know who she got to design this stuff. but one of them looks like the girl lover symbol, right? And I saw it, and it bugged me out because I'm like, yo. Now I think it's supposed to be like some butterfly wings or something, but the way it shows up on the what's name, it looks like the girl lover symbol. And if you're not familiar with what that is, try to see what you can Google to. I put like this, just go, man. I did that video a long time ago. I don't remember what the name of the video was, but on was it Blue's Clues? Yeah, on Blue's Clues. It was an episode of Blue's Clues, and I saw it. And in the episode of Blue's Clues, they have a LGBT parade, right? So they have a drag queen. Now this is Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues is like for little children. So they have a drag queen singing, and they got all these, bright colors and music and all this stuff. And the drag queen in the episode of Blue's Clues has the girl lover symbol, which is a heart inside of a heart, drawn onto her chest or his chest or whatever. That was on a children's program, right in front of our face. Right, brother. Yeah, I did a radical report. I just can't remember what it's called. But yeah, like it was right in front of our face. And the thing is, if you're not familiar with the information, you don't know what you're looking at. So these types of things, you got the signs and symbols everywhere. You got the people speaking in code. Like when the Pizzagate thing happened, they found code used by pedos, right? Dealing with different foods, pizzas, and all this old weird stuff, right? And then I don't know if people caught this, but I don't even think I had a video of this. But Obama, I thought he was talking to somebody else, but Brother Jenny was like, nah, he was talking to Kamala. Obama was talking to Kamala, and they were talking about Joe and pizza and this and this and that, and it was real weird. Like it would seem random unless you know about the code, and then it gets real weird and eerie, and you're like, wait a minute, what's happening here, right? So, and of course, Joe Biden has been accused of all types of stuff. We talked about him and his daughter long ago. We've been covering this stuff for years, because for those that don't know, we were going to focus on just stopping the victimizing of our children. And then we realized that we were trying to go against something that was highly organized and monetized from like the highest levels of society. And we faced opposition from people we never thought we faced opposition from, and we had to start looking around and try to figure out who was orchestrating this stuff against us. Right? It was one of those things you stepped in the ring with a monster and didn't know it, because we were just trying to do the right thing. Brother Asafo says, I seen her story. It was like, yo, why is no one talking about this? But she seems to prefer European people, so she'll let you interview her, and your channel doesn't. And you say your channel won't get pulled down. You say her TikTok was just banned. They can ban her. They can try to silence it, man. I wish that sister the best. I wish her health and healing. I believe her. Like it's just too much stuff happening. It's too much stuff coming about too many people. I believe her. It's just the main reason I never tried to reach out and interview her, because this stuff is just hard. Like her experience is just hard to listen to. I don't know how she survived. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how she survived with any sanity, with any of herself intact. Like it's heartbreaking and just painful. Like I would have to steel myself to get ready for that type of interview. And I'm sure more and more people probably trying to interview her now because more and more stuff is coming out. So now it's like, oh, she actually was telling the truth. Let's see. Right. So, let me see. What do I have? No. I want to get to this person. And the reason I want to get to this person, I got to go back. All right, let's go back. We started here, right? With Sean Carter and Robert Kelly. We're going to end here. And I started to load the video, and then I realized that it was part of a music video, so it would definitely get taken down. So I just left that alone. This is Marina Abramovic and what's his name? And Lord Rothschild. And I don't know if can I close this thing out? Okay. This is Marina Abramovic, right? And Lord Rothschild. You're gonna ask me, so who's Marina Abramovic? I just put it like this. You can Google Marina Abramovic and Jay-Z. And Marina Abramovic and Jay-Z are dancing around each other and nose to nose and all this. So Jay-Z's friends with Marina Abramovic. Now you're gonna ask me, DC, why is that relevant? Well, I had a clip of Marina Abramovic doing her art. She's allegedly an artist. And she does something called spirit cooking. And then I went to the video. And then I said, yeah, the point of this video is to get money. And for the video to be monetized, that's not happening with this stuff. What she does is satanic. I'm just being completely honest. She uses, they said, pig's blood to write messages and uses things that look like people, and she has parties where they have cakes and food that look like people, and they cut cakes and food, and some of it looks like people who've been brutalized. And they actually have real people on the tables, and they put food on the real people, so it's kind of hard to tell what's the real people and what's the food. Listen, this stuff is crazy. And allegedly, some of Sean Combs' events, some of the same type of activities taking place. The reason I'm showing Marina Abramovic, because I'm saying you go from hanging out with Sean Combs to Robert Kelly to Marina Abramovic, and each person is more and more heinous. It's hard to be squeaky clean like that, right? And it gets deeper than that. So let's get into the article, and then we can get ready to close. It says, who is Marina Abramovic, Ukraine's ambassador linked to spirit cooking? Now, why should we care about Ukraine? Oh yeah, because the Biden administration keeps sending billions upon billions of dollars to the Ukraine. Now it says Marina Abramovic, the renowned performance artist, has been appointed as an ambassador for rebuilding schools in Ukraine by President Zelensky. So Vladimir Zelensky, the same Vladimir Zelensky that gets sent millions of dollars from the United States government, the Biden administration, sends millions of dollars to the Ukraine for Vladimir Zelensky to take that money and give some of it to his ambassador, Marina Abramovic, who's known for something called spirit cooking. The fact that it's called spirit cooking should be a red flag right there. You don't even have to know what it is to know what it is. So amongst the many things that your tax dollars are going to, besides a war that the Ukraine cannot win, but they only have them waging the war in order to depopulate the Ukraine so other people can move in and to try to weaken Russia, which hasn't happened because all they've done is prepared Russia for 21st century warfare. That Vladimir Zelensky chose Marina Abramovic, the spirit cooker who uses animal blood and other types of things to quote unquote create art and has food shaped like people and body parts. I mean, the reason I got to bring the documentation because this sounds totally insane and would sound like a raving lunatic. If I didn't show you the articles, I can't show you the video. I mean, I can, but I looked at it. I'm like, nobody want to see this. I'm doing the show too late. People be having nightmares. The video I saw it on, they cut the comments off. One of them, the other one they left the comments on. One of the first comments, somebody said, "This woman's not an artist. She's performing a ritual." This is one of the most famous people and one of the most renowned quote unquote artists in the world, and she is known for piling around with the elite, including Sean Carter. These can't be the circles you run in. These can't be the people that you hang with. And you tell me that you squeaky clean and you haven't done no untoward behavior. What our parents used to say, birds of a feather. If you a man and all I see you hanging with is transgender people and openly homosexual people, and you try to tell me you straight, but those only people you hang with, yeah, you're not gonna be able to convince me. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude they claim they pro-black, but they only date white women. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to convince me. Deuce Rex says, "Thank you for protecting us from that." Yeah, stuff. I mean, and this is like the above ground stuff, and it was disgusting. Like the other stuff I heard about it. Yeah, I don't even want that. I don't even want that on my computer. I ain't trying to download that. But I'm saying these are the type of people that the celebrities that we look up to. These are the type of people they hang with. So it makes me look at other people weird because I'm like, all right, you done made peace with this person that you used to beef with, and these are people we hang with. So okay, what you had to give up? Like I already told y'all. When I saw Nas dap up Little Nas X, I was like, oh, okay, you gave your name to this dude who got Satan in his videos. You let him use your name, so that's what you had to do. You at least had to sacrifice your name. And then he got a Grammy that he should have had 20 years ago. And now he got businesses and money that he earned 20 years ago. Everybody gonna sacrifice something. They gonna take that pound of flesh. You can't tell me that Kanye West's mother's mysterious death is just an accident. I mean, you can tell me that, but I'm never gonna believe it. So you may not get initiated as far as violation, but you're gonna give up something. That's part of the deal of reaching these elite level statuses. And then Kanye told us he got to handle it. So when he started running off at the mouth and and talking about things that are anti-Semitic and what is and isn't anti-Semitic, I being completely honest, I wasn't too sure he wasn't gonna have a car accident. And I'm glad he's physically well, but I question his mental wellness. Just being honest. So, all right, I got a question for y'all. I know the answer. I'm gonna ask it anyway. I got one more week where I can make content. Y'all want me to bring on whom for a 2-3 hour discussion on what's going on in the world, or y'all want me to wait till after the after the inauguration? Y'all let me know. Y'all vote in the chat. Now let me finish this article and we can close out. It says Marina Abramovic. Oh, I read that. In this article, we delve into the controversy and explore the artist's background to provide a comprehensive understanding of the situation. Marina Abramovic's journey began with a family deeply involved in political activism. Her parents' contributions during World War II led to her father working with state security, while her mother became the head of the Museum of Art and the Revolution. Hold up. Where's she from? Because they didn't say that. Did they say that? Oh, she is Ukrainian. Duh. All right. Marina herself pursued art studies at prestigious institutions. Her career milestones include winning the Golden Lion Prize at the Venice Biennale in 1997 and her iconic performance, The Artist is Present, at MoMA in 2010, where she sat motionless for hours, creating emotional connections with her audience. Are you serious right now? She said, I'm not gonna lie. There's some art that I love and respect, and there's other art that I just be confused. I never forget this true story. I was in high school and we went to actually I don't remember what museum it was. I guess it was Museum of Modern Art. It had to be Museum of Modern Art. And they had Andy Warhol and his Campbell soup painting. And I remember literally being like, how is this art? I asked the people that was with us. I asked the other students, I asked the teacher. I was like, I can't even remember what they said, but I wasn't impressed. You know what I'm saying? And if you told me that her sitting there making emotional connections for 4 hours without moving is art, I would be like, I would return to my teenage years and be like, how is this art? But that is more art than the other weird stuff she witnessed. Anyway, the spirit cooking controversy. Abramovic gained notoriety for a 1987 performance, so she was doing this is almost 40 years ago. Titled Spirit Cooking. In this piece, she presented poetic recipes that appeared to instruct violent acts during the cooking process, using pig's blood to write on the walls. The controversial performance led to rumors of her involvement in quote-unquote black magic, but really that's involvement in Satanism, because Aleister Crowley was there. If Aleister Crowley was there, all right, I mean, there's nothing else to talk about. If Aleister Crowley was there, and he's like, bro, you gotta go. Correct me if I'm wrong. Aleister Crowley is Satanist, right? Am I tripping? And he was at the event, and she did this weird looking witchy Satanist type stuff. I mean, what are we supposed to? What conclusions are we supposed to come to? It says critics and conspiracy theorists have questioned the Abramovich association with prominent figures, including, I didn't even know she was wait a minute, the Clintons. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Association with prominent figures including the Clintons, Rothschilds, and the Gates. Some online rumors even suggest her involvement in trafficking, drawing parallels with Epstein. It is essential to note that these claims lack substantial evidence and remain unsubstantiated. I wonder how hard they've been, how hard that they have actually been investigated, or if they've been investigated at all. I didn't even know of some of these connections, so that's interesting. In response to accusations, Marina Abramović has denied any involvement in Satanism. She emphasized that her work primarily revolves around spirituality. Satanism could be a form of spirituality, if you would. Yeah. Anyway, and has been misrepresented by misconceptions. She has expressed solidarity with the Ukrainian people during the challenging times, even restating her famous The Artist President performance to raise funds for Ukraine. Marina Abramović's appointment as a Ukrainian ambassador has ignited controversy due to her past art performances and alleged associations. While conspiracy theories continue to swirl around her, it is crucial to separate fact from speculation and acknowledge her contributions to the art world and efforts to support Ukraine in these trying times. So, yeah, that's Marina Abramović. You can look her up. I mean, we don't have to debate whether she's connected with the Rothschilds, because y'all led with the picture of her connected with the Rothschilds. I don't even know why we act saying that that's controversial. You're not familiar with who you're not familiar with, brother. You got ripped off. So I'm just saying that Mr. Carter, these are the people he's connected with. Mr. Combs, Mr. Kelly, Miss Abramović. Mrs. Abramović is obviously connected to the Rothschilds. And she's connected to Mr. Zelensky, who's obviously connected to Mr. Biden and Mr. Blinken. Are we starting to see how this thing works, right? Now, of course, we have discussed Mr. Biden's behavior around children multiple times. You can see it for yourself if your eyes are open. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying his behavior around children is really kind of weird and creepy. He's overly affectionate. And we see just through Mr. Abramović and Mr. Combs and Carter that all these high-level people, that there are connections between all of them. Right? So I just wanted to put that on the table and say what we're seeing right now is the tip of the iceberg. But the thing I have to figure out, because I don't know. I can't figure out why this stuff is coming out now. It makes me think something big is coming. Why these people would be sacrificed? If these people would be sacrificed to go to jail, it makes me think that they're being sacrificed so other people's crimes can be covered up. I just don't know who the higher up people are. Right. Like, because have we ever actually got the Epstein list? Has that been made public, the whole thing? Has all that information been released? Because I actually don't know. But I'm sure there are more prominent people that are on there. And again, like I said, I'm gonna just say this to the parents out here. do the best you can to protect your children from this wickedness. I can't think of another one. Y'all know, this stuff is demonic, it's evil, it's heinous, it's savage, it's barbaric. But unfortunately, this type of stuff happens every day. And it happens in the highest levels of society, is where it's organized. And to be completely honest, it happens in the lowest levels of society where it's not organized. Like, again, we talked about the police chief in Kansas City. Right? Like, everywhere you look, there is some type of organized trafficking and exploitation of, at this point, men, women, and children. The men not even safe. So, again, let me thank Brother You Got Ripped Off and Sister Najee for joining the membership. And y'all get some clap emojis to both of them. And Summer Renaissance says this is gross and disgusting. Some of our people are now just like this chocolate covered Europeans. We've been, this is what you get when you get integrated. Right? We, as a people, we've been integrated, but whatever benefits that there would have been as far as monetary or rights or things like that, we've received far less of that, but we picked up a lot of heinous behavior. A lot of this, yes, a lot of disgusting things, and somebody has to have the fortitude to call out wickedness when they see it and to condemn it. So even if it's my favorite artist, you're not gonna see me defending nobody. Right? So my favorite artist gets accused of something, I'm just gonna weigh the preponderance of the evidence. I'm like, yeah, basically I'm gonna be like, I should have known. You know what I'm saying? I should have known. Right? I'm gonna be the Denzel thing when he talked about he kissed the man in the movie and was all happy about it. I was disappointed in that. You at the end of your career, there's something you just been waiting to do your whole life? Like what's happening? He's been an icon of masculinity for Black women for, since I was a child. Women have always loved this. I'm like, when I can't even remember what show he was on when he was young. And then you come out and you put that information out and you tell us about it. The scene ain't even in the movie. Right? So, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to cover this information and show that part of my motivation was to show it ain't just Black men. It's Black men. It's white men. You see, even white women. I hate to say it, but I'm sure maybe not at these highest levels, at a lower level, it's probably some Black women. We just haven't seen it yet. And John Public says that unfortunately Black people have become groupies. We're too emotionally invested in celebrity culture. Yeah, because we see when we look at celebrities, it's like the whole slave thing of seeing a person in the big house. Like if I can't be free, I would at least like to work in the big house. Because we know in our mind these people aren't free, right? Because if they were free, like they were truly free, then they would take their money and resources and build things infrastructure and businesses and hire their own people and do stuff like that, but none of them do it. The reason they don't do it because they're not free, because a lot of times people got leverage on them because they've been engaged in these type of heinous activities. See, nobody talks about that part. And then like some of the people, like they're obvious deviants. Like Tyler Perry is an obvious deviant. Oprah Winfrey is an obvious deviant. And some of them, and unfortunately, some of them are victims of abuse. So that's why they are like they are. So people have no qualms about funneling money to these type of damaged people because they know they'll never use the money for the benefit of the people. Yeah, I forgot about that. The whole Lizzo thing. I wasn't even surprised, to be honest. I wasn't even surprised. So maybe, although I doubt it, but maybe as this stuff comes out and the stuff with Kamala and how she treated her people and all this stuff, maybe it'll be the death of celebrity worship amongst our people. Maybe. Right? I mean, like I said, I understand people looking up to them because it's aspirational and they wish they could be in their shoes. And some people like want to be famous and limelight and all of that. Now, I'm good on that. Now, if you want to spread some of that bread over here, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I could use the money to do a lot of things for our people. But I'm not at the point of being initiated. If I got to be initiated, I'm good. Don't call me. I'll be all right. I'm just saying, I ain't trying to be initiated, bro. Because his stuff is heinous. It's wicked. It's demonic. And I mean, I'm at the point. Uh, 79311 says, you saying it's the depth of celebrity culture happening to make way for AI? You know, that AI, that's a whole nother discussion. I mean, I'm gonna talk about this real quick, then I'm gonna get out of here because I was not supposed to go 2 hours, but that's where we headed. What was this show? It was an episode of The Accused that came on, I think, last week. Check out that episode. In the episode, there is all black people, right? And I'm not gonna give away the whole show, but a high-powered corporate sister buys a robot for her husband to tend to his needs while she's not there because she's working too hard. If you get a chance, I don't know what the episode is called, but the show is called The Accused. It has the episode features I think his name is Mike Coulter, the dude that played Luke Cage, and I don't know who the sisters were. I didn't recognize them. Just check. If you get a chance, just check that out. I just found it real interesting. I don't know. Maybe I do a video on it or something. I don't know, but you know, with this transhumanism and this AI and all this stuff happening, I would love to say that this stuff is benign, but it's not. And how far it's gonna go, I don't know. I just know it's going in the wrong direction. What people have planned for this stuff is not what we do. So with that, brothers and sisters, I definitely thank you all for coming through and listening. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you can, put a few dollars in the Cash App. I greatly appreciate it. Cash App, $ DC Radical 1. Follow me on Instagram at DC.Radical1, on Twitter at DC_Radical_ONE. OTW2, which is a free speech platform, a black-owned platform, at DC Radical 1. I just told you the Cash App, $ DC Radical 1. And you can email me at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. So with that, I say a BB40 and straight black pride. Wait. What'd you say, D? What'd you say? You got rid of? We got to take count of. Enlighten me. What am I forgetting? I almost hit the button. What am I forgetting? Did Jeannie vote? Did people vote? I mean, all right. Well, look, y'all got 30 seconds to vote whether or not y'all want Brother Jeannie. Want me to try to get Brother Jeannie on next week before I take my sabbatical and try to do it. I need to do a great reset on myself for 2025. So you say do a program before and after the inauguration. Well, we'll see. Maybe I put a poll in the community tab. Yeah, that's what I do. I put a poll in the community tab. I do it like that, and then put one on my Instagram, and then y'all can take it from there. So, all right, thank you, brother, for reminding me. Now let's try this again. You can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_ONE, on OTWTube at dcradical1, and you can donate via Cash App at $DC_Radical1, and email me at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. And Deuce Rex, Jeannie is Irritated Jeannie, aka Ayoki Mama, the founder of Straight Black Pride Movement, amongst other things. All right, so with that, I am out of here. Again, I thank you all for coming through, and thank you all for your support. And we're going to try it again. With that, I say a BB40 and straight black pride.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cash App is $DC_Radical1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight black pride.